So I wanted to walk through the updated illustrations I had put together. I just ran illustrations with your Mass Mutual policy only. Really the purpose of the illustrations in this video is to provide some visuals just in addition to my written response. So I want to start with question 3, which is, what are the consequences of either not paying the loan back for a while or just letting the loan interest compound forever? So on the Excel workbook, we've got the different illustrations I had run for your policy. And on tab 1, we've got a basic loan demonstration. So this just displays side by side what your policy looks like if you never take any loans compared to taking a loan and then paying it back. So on the left, we've got growth. What is highlighted in pink for the first 7 years represents what has already happened. So we see how much you paid each year, your total out of pocket, your current cash value, and your current death benefit. And then we've got the premium payment paid through year 10, just based on our conversation a few months ago. I just kept that the same. You can fund longer, shorter. You've got a lot of flexibility there. But we've got the growth illustration, then an illustration displaying you taking the maximum loan. Now this maximum loan is displayed in policy year 8, which would be this June. So the illustration assumes you take the policy loan after you pay the next premium. You can take it earlier than that. It won't quite be $747. It'll be the number that I had emailed yesterday. Why I've got the loan here in year 8 is because that's the earliest the illustration software will allow me to input the following year. So the year we're in right now, the software doesn't allow me to illustrate that. However, you can take a loan now if you wanted to. So in year 8, what I did is just display the maximum loan, $747,000. There's your available cash value, comes down to about $15K. You'll notice the death benefit will drop by the amount that you borrow, $747 and change. That's why I'm at $2 million now, or you're at $2 million now. Then in this example, what I assumed is that you continue to pay the premium. You pay the loan interest for 4 years, and then at age 58, you begin to attack the loan principal. And you can attack the loan principal in any manner you'd like. I just made it simple here and assumed $100,000 per year is applied toward the principal, in addition to paying the loan interest each year. But what you'll notice here, and you'll see this in any loan illustration, is once the loan is paid back, look at your cash value and death benefit and compare it with the illustration where you just let it sit and grow. Numbers are identical. So even though you take the maximum loan here and you've got only $15,000 left in cash value, you're still earning dividends and interest on the $15K remaining in cash value and that outstanding loan. Really, the full balance is what you're still receiving compounding on, which is nice. You do pay loan interest on the outstanding loan portion, but what helps offset that is the fact that you're still earning interest on everything. So again, this is meant to be a basic loan demonstration, just showing a growth illustration next to a repayment illustration. Then tab 2 displays no principal payments. So the first illustration assumes you take the maximum loan, continue to pay the premium for another 3 years, but never pay any loan interest and never pay any loan principal. So what happens in this case when we look at the values, you'll see that you increase for a little bit, which is okay, but what happens eventually here? You'll notice that value starts to go down. And the reason why is because the loan interest that is accruing is exceeding the earnings on the policy, the interest you're receiving from the insurance company. So if our cash value begins to decline, what that means is that annual loan interest that we're not paying is outpacing the interest earned on the policy. Because what happens when the loan interest comes due, if we elect not to pay it, the policy will take a loan against itself to cover that loan interest payment. So what that means here you're paying the premium each year. But if I look at year 11, when you pay nothing, loan interest is $41,000 and change. You don't pay it at all. The policy takes a loan to pay that $41,219, and then anything left over is kicked back into cash value, which in this example is about $250. So not that much money, but the interest has outpaced the cost to borrow. But then after that, we see we begin to slow down here. The cost is exceeding the earnings. And a danger here, what can happen if we take a maximum loan and never pay any loan interest or anything? The policy can begin to call for money again. And if we don't pay that minimum out-of-pocket requirement, then the policy would lapse. Now, there are measures you can take to prevent this in advance. We could have the dividends applied toward the loan. The easy solution, if we know that there's a chance you might not pay anything back, I would say maybe take a maximum loan of 90%. So whatever the maximum loan amount is, don't loan any more than 90% of that. And that'll prevent a situation like what we see here. We're leaving some juice in the orange. This way, the fruit isn't completely drained and then it rots, if that makes sense. I don't know if that was the best illustration to use. But this does demonstrate if we take a maximum loan and don't pay anything, eventually the policy calls for more money to prevent the policy lapse. Now, if you did this and then just pay it back in a big lump sum, boom, down here, you would see your cash value and death benefit restored to what it would be on the growth illustration if we never touched it in the first place. Then we've got pay loan interest only. So here we take that loan. The loan interest comes due, and this assumes you pay it out of pocket indefinitely, which you would not have to do. I just ran it indefinitely for the sake of simplicity. But what you will see here is each year you're paying that loan interest, and the cash value is growing by a lot more than that, because you're really preventing the drag on the policy. If the policy has to cover the loan interest on its own, you're allowing those dividends and interest to do that before they're kicked back into your policy. If you cover that loan interest, your dividends and interest can just be kicked back into your policy, which is why we see much stronger growth there. But again, these two illustrations on tab 2 are meant to demonstrate what things look like if you make zero principal payments. And then tab 3 displays what things look like if you repay the principal. And here's what I want to hit on here. The first illustration, we've got pay interest only, then repay loan principal. So what we're doing here is assuming the max loan is taken, then you pay interest only. So in purple are interest payments, loan interest payments, and in light blue are principal payments. So what you'll notice here, for 4 years, you're paying interest only, and then you begin to attack the loan principal with $100K per year. And again, it can be any number. Loan repay. Loans cleared by year 20 in this example. All of the interest payments are tallied up here. So in this example, you've paid a total of $308,000. This is a variable rate, so it could adjust, but we're assuming the rate just stays at 5%. Then to the far right, we've got defer the loan interest. So if you said, okay, Steve, I'd like to still pay the minimum premium. I'm going to do that until I'm 55, but I want to take the maximum loan. And what I want to do with this capital is invest it somewhere, but I don't want to have to pay the loan interest for a period of time. I really want to focus all of my resources on this investment, whatever it might be. So I don't want to pay the loan interest. What you could do is this. So we've got the maximum loan. Here we are deferring the loan interest. So your out of pocket is the premium in this example for 3 years, but that's it. You're not paying any loan interest. And then down here at age 58, we're assuming you only apply $100,000 per year toward the principal. What I mean when I say only $100,000, again, this number can be anything to the left. We assume that you paid the loan principal, applied $100,000 toward the loan principal, that is, and paid loan interest of $37,000. So your out of pocket would be 137 and change, whereas over here, it's just 100. So you're not paying the loan interest each year when it comes billed. What you're doing is applying it toward the loan principal first, and then the rest is applied toward the loan interest. I'm going to update the loan principal balance there as well. So in this example, again, we're assuming you're applying $100K per year toward the loan, which first goes toward the loan interest, then the rest goes toward the principal. Takes longer because you're not paying the loan interest each year. Last year's payment is $42,515, which is the loan principal, $40,000 and change plus the interest that year. And what you'll notice here in this strategy, here's your cash value and death benefit. It's going to match what we have to the left. So regardless of how and when you repay a loan, everything's restored. That's the nice part. The drawback to the strategy on the right, and this might hit on question 3, what are the consequences of not paying the loan interest? When you eventually repay that loan, you do end up paying more interest to the insurance company when we look at the total out of pocket. Let me know if this helps and if you have any questions at all, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks so much.